Hi Nomex, welcome again. Today we have a special edition. We have a special guest in this opportunity. We have Natalia Lopez de Sosa Montes de Oca. What a long name for our guest in this opportunity. Welcome, Natalia.
Thank you so much, Nelson. Thank you for that special introduction. I think I am the one that is lucky to be here with you. And I'm lucky to have all the Latino and Caribbean students here at Conestoga College. I'm the International Recruitment Manager for Latin America and Caribbean and United States for Conestoga College.
Thank you, Natalia. Thank you for being here. Actually, when I came here, I found out that Latino community is not that much as I thought.
Really? And here I am saying that we're growing like a lot.
Not as much as Indian people.
We are the minority from the communities here, but my intention with this interview and with all the travels to different countries that I do, all the trips, is to bring more Latinos, because I believe that Latinos have the potential. We work hard, right? Like, let's put it this way. Like in Latin America, we work a lot more than 8 hours sometimes per day. And that's what we do. We work hard and we like things to be solved, because for us, coming from a country that there are a lot of problems to be solved, we're used to solve problems, right? And I don't know if you notice that Canada here sometimes is like, no, this cannot be done, this cannot be done, right? And in Latin America, sure, let me find a solution or a way.
Actually, I found out, according to what you're saying, that we can find a technician, for example, to fix my computer.
Yeah.
Yeah, because most Canadian people say, oh, buy another one, buy a new one. And we, as Latino people, find the solutions, as you said. So we in Latin America find in every corner a technician for anything, right?
And that's what I want to bring here, right? Because here, I don't know if you notice that the things that you know with skills or labor jobs, jobs that need to be done with hands, are very pricey, cost a lot. And that is why, because it's like nobody wants to do it.
About that topic, why do you think that most Latino people try to find the way to come to Canada as workers than being international students?
There's outside in social media and in the news, there's a lot of messages about come to Canada, right? If you want to work here in Canada, it's going to be very difficult, because first of all, you have to show that you have something as a foreigner, as an outsider, that you have something that the Canadian people here doesn't have. And for that, they do a market impact assessment, like LMIA, Labor Market Impact Assessment, where the company that wants to hire you needs to prove that you have something that the Canadian community here doesn't have, which is very difficult. And most of the companies doesn't want to do that, because Canadians here have a lot of good qualifications or skills, right? So the people that are watching this program and think that to come here to Canada and work just by that is not possible. You have to follow a path. And I'm telling you this because I used to work for the Mexican consulate for 5.5 years, and there were a lot of people, Mexican people, that received the permanent residence from the Canadian government, that sold everything there in Mexico, came here with their family and said, well, I'm here, I'm gonna find a job. And when they're trying to find a job, they asked, one of the questions is, do you have Canadian experience?
It's a circle, right? Because to have a job, you need a Canadian experience. And to have Canadian experience, you need a job.
But to have both, you have to have studies.
Let's be honest, most people want to come to Canada as an international student and then apply for the permanent residence. How hard is it?
I don't know. Honestly, I am just a recruiter for international. This will be a question that you have to answer to make it to the international students. What I can tell you is that there are a lot of international students that started when I arrived here to Conestoga in 2019, and now they are permanent residents. I can tell you the majority of them are international students. What happened there that make them be permanent residents super fast is the pandemic. you are noticing in the news that we need a lot of people to work here, right? Like people in Canada are getting older, and there are not a lot of Canadians that want to perform certain jobs. Therefore, there's a shortage in the market for certain positions, and Canada needs to fill those positions. They have proved they are skilled workers. You know, they have achieved certain goals in their life that will bring a positive impact into the Canadian society or communities. As I mentioned to you, I noticed that a lot of students that started 2 years ago, right now, they are permanent residents. Is this gonna continue forever? I don't know, I don't think so. But I can tell you, from my point of view, it's not difficult nowadays. In the past, it was more difficult.
I think the most difficult part is to get the amount of money.
True.
To apply for a college. I'm not talking about Conestoga College. Any college has this. It's expensive.
If you think that is expensive, Nelson, like the college is expensive, try to apply for a university, and then that will be expensive. The college tuition, Conestoga College, the tuition is just $13,500 plus the additionals of insurance and etc., comes to $16,000, $17,000, which means that is $10,000 cheaper than university, right? So the way I see it is, or the way I always say it is, it's not expensive. It is an investment.
Actually, Natalia, I agree with that, because when I was doing my research, I tried to get to this point that, okay, it's a high, expensive fee to get this kind of education, but it's an investment, because if you want to compete in a labor market as a Canadian, you need to have the skills, you need to have the tools, you need the education as a Canadian, so you can compete in this world, right?
Precisely. Like as I said, one is expensive, yes, but if you think about it, it's the same cost as a private university in Mexico or Colombia or Peru or all the Latinos markets I have visited. They have one thing in common, which is a private university is expensive, and some of our students pay it. So one is not that expensive, in my opinion. It's not as expensive as the universities here in Canada. And three is an investment, because you're gonna return that your return of investment you will see it within the first year or second year of your studies, of your work life.
What will be the most profitable career?
Well, it's a funny question. Actually, I was speaking with a couple of people that were from Chile yesterday. My opinion is that, believe it or not, the trades programs are the ones that are like can give you more income within the first years, and I'm going to explain you why. While in Mexico, Latin America, Ecuador, Chile, whatever country of Latin America you name it, the carpenter, plumber, electrician, mechanic are not good-looking jobs, right? Like it's like, oh yeah, I'm a carpenter. Yeah, it's like not very.
They're underrated.
Underrated. Here, they are super rich, and the reason is because, once again, they are working with their hands. Just to go and see a mechanic or an electrician come and to your house, just to give you the first quote. Okay, to quote you is going to cost you $250, right? And then I'm going to do the job. I'm telling you, they can earn as much, like let's say a constructor, like which in our country is albañil, right? They can earn 50 Canadian dollars per hour. So just make numbers there. So that's why I said, if you want to study in Canada, or if you already have a trade in Latin America, come here, because you will be very you will have a pretty decent life here with that.
What does Conestoga have that other colleges doesn't have to offer to international students?
Well, I am gonna tell you based on my experience. I used to live in Toronto 5.5 years, and I'm gonna tell you, first of all, we offer quality programs. at an affordable price, while in Toronto, they offer quality programs, but the price is very expensive. Why is that? It's not like, it's the area per se, right? Like everybody wants to be in Toronto, and Toronto is becoming very expensive. So we being located outside Toronto, but not that far, like just an hour driving, it offers the Latino the opportunity to spend less money in the housing accommodations, in the living, the cost of, they can reduce the cost of the living, right, here. The second thing that I think Conestoga offers that not other college has is that, for example, we have more than 50 or 60 postgraduate or graduate certificate programs. If you want to study in another college that is located in Ontario, in BC, in Montreal, you're gonna find that they don't have a lot of graduate certificates that we have. We have Conestoga for the international students more than 230 programs, which is a lot. Most other colleges have 160, 170, and we have 9 campuses, which means that we have a seat for you. And our professors, there's a third difference between the other colleges, is like our professors are used to the international students, like the way they speak, the way they study, that they become from a different background. And it's just because we have more than 13,000 international students. So for a professor, it's very common to have in their class more than half of the students come from international background, right? Which means that they are very patient and easygoing and approachable for the international students. You can tell me that. Like your professors, I think they are very they understand that you're from Peru, and then they treat you like with how do you say, with patience, and they care about that. And this is not saying by me, this is saying by the international students that I have chat with. They told me, Conestoga, what makes the difference are the professors.
Yes, actually I agree with that. Professors in this college, they care about you, right? They know they can understand what are the circumstances of you as a newcomer. They told me they were happy for me because I did this effort to come here with my family, and I can tell, right? They care about you. I have also some classmates that they came from Toronto and other cities to Conestoga because they heard about what you're saying. So I think it's a good choice that I made when I came here.
And I want to also congratulate you and your family, because Nelson, honestly, you are the first person from broadcasting and television program that you approached to me and say, hey Natalia, I want to do this interview. And that's what I'm saying. I don't know if you listened to the first part of the interview and you will realize I saw that we go beyond the usual things, right? I don't know how to explain it. I'm going to say it in Spanish, hoping you can understand me. Vamos más allá y tenemos iniciativa que muchos de aquí no tienen. And I'm pretty sure you're going to be in a very good position in 2 years, so don't forget about me.
Thank you, Natalia. And one more thing. What advice would you give to someone, non-Canadian person who would like to come to Canada as an international student?
Always be persistent. How do you say persistent? Like, don't give up on your dreams. You're gonna make it. I guarantee it's gonna be difficult. From the moment you make that decision, you're gonna receive a lot of maybe critics from your family, or you're gonna receive a lot of you're gonna have doubts about what I'm doing the best for me, for my family. And even though when you are here, not to mention probably the study permit is going to be rejected at the first, probably we're going to reject the program at first, probably you're going to experience a lot of things in the middle of, right? I don't know how many things you experience within these 2 years. However, if you are persistent with what you want, you're going to make it. I guarantee that here, it doesn't matter the weather, it doesn't matter that you then get the job you're wishing for at the first. You just told me, like, but you have applied for a job several times, and I know you're gonna get it. If you are consistent in what you want and what you are looking for, you're gonna make it. So my best advice is pursue your dreams, and for sure, you're gonna achieve them.
Thank you, Natalia. Thank you, Nomads, for being part of this episode. And thank you again. I know most people here that watched us, watch this interview, will get something that would help them to catch their dreams, right? Thank you, Natalia. Thank you, Nomads. Thank you. Bye-bye.